Hi, I'm Marley Burrows, and I will be discussing R&B in the 2010s and after. So in the 2010s, a new alternative sound emerges. Between the late 2000s and early 2010s, the climate of music shifted from physical records sold in stores to digital releases. According to Complex.com, Singer's Room and ThisIsRnB.com were two of the only websites dedicated to R&B at the time. During this music era, rap and hip hop dominated the online music world, while R&B was slow to adapt. Another online source mentions R&B was wildly popular in mainstream music in the early thousands. To some, that was the last time this was so. For the majority of R&B artists during this time period, being able to compete with other genres such as hip hop and pop was hard to do. One R&B artist that managed to profit from the switch to digital releases was Beyoncé. Originally released in 2013, her self-titled visual album launched as a surprise to her fans who were notified of its drop via Instagram. The market's response was 80,000 album copies sold in one night. Not only did R&B artists adapt to consumers on the business side, but they changed their sound as well. So alternative R&B. Alternative R&B pulls inspiration from neo-soul, trap, rock, and pop. This experimental, boundary-pushing artist of this time soared to the tops of the charts after prior downward trend. The vocals of alternative R&B take on a dreamier tone and is also known as indie R&B and cloud R&B. Some notable artists of alternative R&B are Jhené Aiko, DVS, and Her, The Internet, and more. As R&B began to modernize, the genre found a new sound with new themes. Pop culture writer Deshaun Smith notes, in the 2010s, R&B bent further into alternative waves, becoming fascinated with nature, space, time, and the universe. Cloud R&B was born. During this time, artists began to explore fusing R&B with other music styles. When asked if he was comfortable with the state of R&B, Miguel responded that it insinuates a higher art or a deeper or somehow more artistic delivery of rhythm and blues music. It suggests there is more to artistry within a genre that has become more of a cliche itself. The boundary pushing artists of this time were able to break outside of the typical R&B sound and reach tops of the charts with alternative R&B. Some notable alternative R&B albums: Trilogy by The Weeknd, which was released in 2012. This album debuted at number 4 on the Billboard 200 and was certified triple platinum in America and Canada. Channel Orange by Frank Ocean, released in 2012, was debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200, was the best reviewed album of 2012, and won a Grammy for the best urban contemporary album. Control by SZA was released in 2016, and on this album, it had 5 singles on the album certified platinum or higher. It debuted at number 3 on the Billboard 200, and it was nominated for 5 Grammy Awards. A Seat at the Table by Solange, which was released in 2016. This was Solange's first #1 album on the Billboard 200, and Cranes in the Sky won a Grammy for the best R&B performance. So we're going to listen to a couple of alternative R&B songs.
A tornado flew around my room before you came. Excuse the mess it made. It usually doesn't rain in Southern California, much like Arizona. My eyes don't shed tears, but boy, they pour when I'm thinking about you. Ooh, no, no, no. I've been thinking about you. You, no, no, no. I've been thinking about you. Do you think about me still? Do you, or do you not think so far ahead?
This album touches electro funk, pop soul, jazz funk, and psychedelic styles. He also utilizes non musical sounds such as film dialogue and ambient noise that function as interludes. The lyrics touch on themes of unrequited love, decadence, social class, and drugs. Next, we're going to listen to Drew Barrymore by SZA.
Why is it so hard to accept the party is over? You came with your new friends and her mom jeans and her new vans, and she's perfect and I hate it. Oh, so glad you made it. I'm so glad you could come back. Somebody get the tacos. Somebody spark the. Let's start the narcos off at episode 1. Bring the gin, got the juice. Bring the sin, got that.
This album draws influences from alternative R&B, trap, neo soul, and indie rock. The songs of this album resemble intimate diary entries. Her songwriting explores topics such as love, jealousy, low self-esteem, and social media. So now we're going to talk about the present and where are we now. So Tamia once said, "I remember when R&B singers sang the song and the rappers did a hook. Now singers are just doing the hooks, and actually some rappers are doing the songs and the hooks." So this quote really goes to show how much R&B and rap and hip hop take influence from each other and how that affects modern contemporary R&B. So with this came the rise of trap R&B. Also known as trap soul and contemporary R&B is a subgenre where R&B and soul meet rap. Singers are now heard both singing and rapping on their own songs rather than being featured to sing on a rapper's song. And this subgenre blurs the lines between rappers and singers. Some notable trap R&B albums: Trap Soul by Bryson Tiller, released in 2015. This album peaked at number 13 on the Billboard Hot 100 and was certified triple platinum. Heaven or Hell by Don Toliver, released in 2020. This album debuted at number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100 and was certified gold in America and Denmark. East Atlanta Love Letter by Black, released in 2018. This debuted at number 3 on the Billboard 200, was certified gold, and ranked number 6 on the Billboard 10 Best R&B Albums of 2018. And Poetic Pain by Tusi was released in 2020, and this peaked at number 17 on the Billboard 200, and Love Cycle on the album was certified platinum. So now we're going to listen to a couple of trap soul songs.
This loving ain't the same. I don't know what to say, but what a shame. If you were mine, you would not get the same. If you were mine, you would top everything. Suicide in the drop, switching lanes in a thing. So far, baby, no propane. Got good, girl, can I be framed? Keep it 100.
All right, and this is Been Away by Brent Fayez.
I'm just trying to get my paper straight, girl. I know I've been away. I'm just trying to get my paper straight, girl. Don't give my shit away.
Okay. The art of sampling. So, sampling is the reuse of a portion of a sound recording in another recording. These portions can be layered, sped up, slowed down, looped, and more. Samples allow artists to put a modern spin on old hits. Nowadays, many tracks can contain a sample within a sample, connecting the same song throughout multiple decades. So now we are going to examine the samples versus the original, starting with Labels by Kiana Lede, released in 2020.
I ain't wasting no with these labels. I done give you up my heart and you play with it. I hit a little tip when you're down on both knees. Gotta get a grip cause I ain't your main squeeze. All this money that you talking, I already spent it. Every dollar that I gave you, I need every cent. But oh no, 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 oh no, no.
All right, and then the that song sampled Juicy by the Notorious B.I.G., which was released in 20 or 2005. Okay, and then that song sampled Juicy Fruit by M. Tomb, which was released in 1983. All right.
I ain't wasting no more time with it life.
And that is all. Thank you for listening.